Today, we all know how important modern roads and water systems are to our lives. Just think roads and massive aqueducts, thousands of kilometers long, built over 2,000 years ago. So, how did these structures defy time and nature? Why are these structures, built only with stone and mortar, still in use today? In this video, we will explain how Roman roads were built, how aqueducts worked, and why we still see and admire them today. When the Romans said, "All roads lead to Rome," they weren't just using a metaphor. They had actually built an incredible network of roads connecting all corners of the empire to Rome. The total length of Roman roads reached 400,000 kilometers. Of these, 80,000 kilometers were main roads paved with stone. This length is enough to circle the earth nearly 10 times. The primary purpose of the roads was not trade, but military mobility. This allowed legions to reach one region from another in a matter of days. But this road network not only enabled the legions to move quickly, it also facilitated the spread of goods, ideas, and culture from all corners of the empire. So, how were these roads built? Road construction was not just a matter of laying stones. A Roman road, like today's highways, consisted of carefully planned layers. Engineers worked layer by layer. First, the soil where the road would pass was dug to a depth of 1 meter, and the soft ground was hardened. This created a solid foundation that could bear the weight of the road. The second stage was called the statumen, or foundation layer. In this stage, large stones and rubble were placed at the bottom. This layer provided drainage and further stabilized the ground. The third stage was the rudus, or filling layer. On top of this came a layer consisting of gravel, sand, and lime mortar. This increased the flexibility of the road and ensured that the layers bonded together. The final stage was the summa crustae, or surface layer. Carefully cut, interlocking, smooth-surfaced basalt or limestone slabs were laid. These stones were laid so tightly that not even a sword could fit between them. One of the most important details was the drainage channels on the sides of the road. The Romans knew that water accumulating on the road surface was their greatest enemy. These channels allowed water to flow away, preventing erosion of the road. The reason we can still walk on Roman roads today in Italy, England, and even Anatolia is thanks to this meticulously planned layered structure. Extra info. Roman roads were built so well that many modern European roads are still built on top of them. Some of the routes you see on Google Maps actually follow the lines drawn by the Romans. If Roman roads were the veins of the empire, aqueducts were its heart. The imperial capital of Rome was home to over 1 million people. To meet the water needs of this massive population, aqueducts stretching for kilometers were constructed. The total length of Roman aqueducts exceeded 400 kilometers. These were not merely aesthetic structures. They were also the cornerstones of social life and hygiene. Without modern pumps or motors, the Romans transported water using only the force of gravity. This required incredible precision. Aqueducts were built with a very slight slope of only 1 to 2 degrees from the source to the city. To achieve this slope, massive arches were built over valleys and carved channels were dug through tunnels. The arches, The most distinctive feature of aqueduct architecture were not merely an aesthetic element. The arches distributed the vertical pressure to the sides, allowing the structure to bear its own weight. This ingenious design saved materials and gave the structure extraordinary durability. They held an important place in urban planning. The arches carried water to baths, fountains, and the villas of the wealthy. Every citizen had access to 200 liters of water per day, which is quite close to today's usage levels. Today, France's Pont du Gard, Spain's Aqueduct of Segovia, and Rome's Aqua Claudia are still standing and continue to amaze visitors. So, how have these structures remained standing for 2,000 years? The answer is actually quite simple: good engineering, solid materials, and foresight. The Romans used Roman concrete. This special mixture contained volcanic ash and limestone. Resistant even to seawater, this concrete was stronger and more flexible than today's concrete. Structures were built not only for today's needs, but also with future needs in mind. At that time, it was considered sufficient for roads to last 50 years, but the Romans envisioned 500 years into the future. If you walk along the Appian Way today, you will see that the stones are still solid. You will feel the foresight of the Romans there. When building roads, they took climate conditions and traffic into account. They built roads straight for the legions to move quickly. Sometimes they even dug through mountains and opened tunnels. For example, tunnels carved by the Romans can still be seen at the Furlough Pass. These roads also boosted trade. Routes connecting to the Silk Road enriched Rome. Today, some villagers in Italy use these ancient roads to reach their fields. This is proof of Rome's foresight. Roman roads and aqueducts did not only serve practical needs, they also carried an ideological message. Wherever Rome goes, civilization goes. Roads, they enabled the rapid movement of the Roman army, but they also made trade, culture, and the spread of Roman law possible. Aqueducts, they demonstrated the power and generosity of the emperors in the eyes of the people. Bringing an aqueduct to a city was almost equivalent to erecting a victory monument. For the Romans, engineering was not merely a technical skill, but also a propaganda tool. The Roman Empire itself may have fallen, but its engineering genius lives on through the structures it left behind. Even today, in Spain, Turkey, France, and everywhere else the empire once ruled, Roman roads and aqueducts stand before us as silent witnesses to humanity's determination and creative potential. And we still live with the legacy of Roman engineering today. Much of Europe's road network follows Roman routes. Modern water systems are based on the principles of Roman aqueducts. The idea of engineering, discipline, long-term thinking spread from Rome to the world. Many historians say that Rome's real conquest was not with its armies, but with its engineering power. This is arguably true because roads and aqueducts were still in use even after the empire's collapse. So, what do you think was Rome's greatest legacy? Its armies, its laws, or its engineering genius? Let's discuss in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to continue exploring Rome's legends.